Let's start with a quick distinction. So when we talk about generative AI, we usually mean systems like ChatGPT or image generators. These are tools that take a prompt and produce content, whether it's a text, a code, or images. They usually are designed to generate some type of output. And generative AI is what we've been doing really for the past over 10 years. If you've done predictive text, if you work with Siri, all of these things are generating content for you. But I'm excited because we're in a new realm. It's a new era. It is time for agentic AI. So what is that? Okay. So agentic AI, it doesn't just respond. It takes an action, it follows a workflow, and it makes decisions across steps. And so when you think of this, I want you to think of this in a different way. So a prompt is like giving a calculator one equation. An agent is like hiring an assistant who knows which problems to solve, in what order, and which tools to use to actually get it done. That's the purpose of an agentic AI. So it takes me just generating an idea. Now is proposing what the actual equation is. It breaks it down and then gives me what I'm actually asking for, which is usually an assistant to whatever I need. So that's the cool thing about agentic AI. That is a new era, a new way of thinking. And now it takes it to a different level. It allows us to get that off to someone else or something else and allows it to then create for us a new workflow or system of how we do things. So that's what I really love about the difference between generative AI and agentic AI. Generative, we're still just generating content. It's based on a bunch of different things. It's pulling from every source to give you something that is all together, kind of this amalgam of different things, right? Whereas agentic is actually giving you exactly what you are asking for because that's what it was designed to do. You do have to design it. It has to be designed to do that thing. So the two differences in generative and agentic, we're leaning toward agentic because of the clarity that it can actually create, and it has all these new creative possibilities. So the distinction of these two, generative and agentic, is really what leads folks to a lot of fears around AI. The first is, am I becoming lazy? Am I letting my brain atrophy because I'm now using AI? And my response is yes and no. If you outsource your thinking, then yes, your skills are going to weaken over time because you're not utilizing them. You need them. But if you treat AI like almost like a sparring partner, so think about for boxers, you need somebody to be able to banter with in order to get the directions right, to get your timing right. That's really what an AI is going to be giving you. So use it to test ideas, sharpen your argument, stretch your creativity. What's the next step that I'm not thinking about? Then with that, you're actually strengthening your mental muscles. And it's the difference between letting a treadmill do the walking for you versus running on it to get stronger. Yes, walking is good. It builds, but it's not going to build the mass that you want. So you got to run, you got to put some effort into it to really get you to the next level. The next thing I want to talk about, another fear that folks have, is about this thing called phantom data. So AI is generating information that looks right, but not kind of isn't, right? I like to compare AI to an intern. You wouldn't let an intern send directly to a client without reviewing it. You check the source, you polish the draft, and you make sure it aligns with the standards of the organization. The same thing with AI, that you need to trust that it is only a helper and you have to verify everything before you send it off. I work with students all the time, and I can absolutely tell when they've generated something through AI because they didn't read it. If you read it, you would absolutely know, hey, that doesn't belong here, or that's actually not the question I asked you. You're giving me more information without actually answering the question. So you got to make sure that you read through all these things, you polish it, it's up to your standard, then you send it. It's an assistant. It's not there to replace what information you already have. Finally, let's not forget about the environmental impact, and it's real. Every single AI interaction takes server power, electricity, and cooling. That means the more unnecessary prompts and the back and forth conversations we generate, the higher the carbon footprint. Just like we learn to recycle and reduce plastic waste, part of the responsible AI use is to be intentional about how we use it. Okay. So you need to ask better questions. They need to be sharper and they need to not be so vague. That's why you have to actually prompt it and not what we call command it. That's asking the question and hoping it thinks for you to give an answer. You want to tell it exactly what you need it to do, how you need it to get there so that you can get what needs to be gotten. Small changes in our behavior, they scale across millions of users and they really have an impact. Every time we've done any type of revolutionary idea around technology, we've always had to think about the environmental impact. We've always figured it out. This is no different. We're going to figure out how to do this. In the interim, let's make sure that we're intentional about how we're using. I do a lot within the higher education realm. And so where we're seeing AI really start fumbling on this next generation is their fear of somehow not being taken seriously, not having the credibility necessary. And I want to make an I statement. We, as a higher education institution, are not teaching well how to use this tool. It is a tool, but we are having issues with this. And it's one of those things that we've been using. Anytime you use any type of predictive text, you are using AI. Grammarly, AI. Anytime when you are making any type of changes within a Word document, unless AI to be able to do that efficiently. So we've been doing it and we've been doing it well. I'm also old enough to remember when Wikipedia was supposed to replace libraries. It did not. And AI is really not going to be an exception in that way. You're still going to have to learn how to use it. And so, as folks' fear controls their narrative, they are then thinking that AI is going to replace me. So, the takeaway today is understand the difference between a one off generative tool and an agent that acts the way that you need it to. Use AI to enhance, not replace your thinking, and treat it like an intern that you really love, that you respect, that you care for, but also know it's their first week on the job. So make sure that you're reviewing the work and you use it responsibly to minimize waste. That is going to be something that we all have to work on as we're using this tool more and more and more. No, AI is not going to replace you, but a human who knows how to use AI will. So that is why you have to get comfortable with this tool. It is a tool like any other thing. It's a powerful tool, but it is still a tool. So as you are practicing and getting comfortable with this and really connecting to this new era that we're in, make sure that you understand that you are still in control. It is still human centered. Your brain still has to work. Your brain still has to create. The only thing this does is it expands. And so that is the way that you need to approach it. Approach it as an expansive tool that will get you to the next level of what you would like to do within your workplace.